Welcome back to another video, guys. This is a video I played against a 1500. So it was a weaker opponent, and so sometimes when you play a weaker opponent, you want to play like unorthodox stuff because they'll be unprepared for it. And that's kind of what happened. I played the Queen's Gambit accepted, and instead of playing knight f3, he plays e3, which is safer, but arguably it's not safer because I play e5, and now in this Queen's Gambit accepted, he has an isolated pawn. So if he just takes my pawn, you say, what are you doing? I got a free pawn. Well, no, because queen takes. And now, let's see what the engine says. Knight c6. Black is already better. Because um, black has a nice, or white has two double pawns, and double pawns are generally considered not to be very good. So instead, he just defends by recapturing, and I give him this isolated pawn. So I play a6, and this is the start of my unorthodoxy. Um, Basically, I'm planning to play b5 and bishop b7. Even though my bishop can go out this way, I'm playing b5, bishop b7 later, hopefully, if he gives me a chance to. Although he doesn't give us a chance because he plays queen b3. So this is actually good for him. It should be good for him because he's threatening to take f2 with his bishop, with check. So I would lose castling rights. But I don't have a good way to defend because if I defend with the bishop, he takes, and he takes, and it wins a pawn. So I check defending with my queen instead, and he blocks his king from check. b5, getting space, and now I try to trade queens with him. So this is objectively a mistake, and he should go away with his queen because I'm undeveloped, and I'm moving my queen out into the open, and he can gain time against me, tempo, which is good for him. But he allows me to trade queens, and that helps me because now he has double pawns, and my king is in the center, and his attack sort of on my king hasn't really materialized. So I develop my bishop, and he should go check because this is a discovered check now. In the other video, there was a discovery, but this is a discovered check. So I move my king out of check, and now I lose castling rights. That's good for him. I could also go bishop here, but he could pin me. So if he goes here, for example, and I block, he goes here, and now he's double attacking my bishop, and I have to defend somehow. So the only way to defend is knight g8, and that's a very ugly move to play. It's ugly because it's undeveloping a piece, and now he can play bishop g5, throwing another piece on, and you say, well, I can take the bishop. Well, no, because I'd be going into harm's way with my king, and that's illegal. So I'd have to play f6 to block him. He would retreat, and now my knight has like no squares except for h6 to develop. So that would be very unfortunate for me. So he didn't play that though. He could play knight g3 check, and I would probably move my king, and that would be good for him. But that's not what he did. Instead, he played bishop g5, which isn't as good because he's not really pinning anything. And once I kick him, he just trades, and that helps me because I have the double knights. And these knights they defend each other, but they also block each other from the same square where they want to be, which is f6, because they control the center from there. He could retreat, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of going to g5 in the first place. If he goes here, maybe it makes some sense, but I still castle, and I'm out of harm's way. So he helps me by trading. He goes check, discovered check. I move my king, and he goes f3. So f3 plans to put his piece here on e4, but I kind of ignore that threat by pinning his knight to his rook. So that means if he moves his knight, I take his rook, and I've gained material. So I have a rook, I have two rooks, and he has a knight, and a knight and a bishop, but I have a knight and a bishop. So he has an extra knight, but I have an extra rook. So if you look at the pieces off the board in this little area here, I have an extra rook, and he has an extra knight captured, and that'd be good for me. So he doesn't do that. He moves his rook here, but he moves off the open file, so that helps me because I'm controlling more of the center. And that's what you want to do when you play chess. You want to control the center. So he moves his king in, and you might say, well, this is exposing his king, but no, it's not because the queens are off. So he's safe because there's no attack. If there was a queen here, it would be checkmate. If this was bishop was a queen, it would be checkmate. Actually, no, the king can go run to g6, g3. But anyway, he can't do that. So I can't just the only openings or games where you can do that, I'd like drop pieces on the board are Crazy House and Bug House. So instead, I play c5, controlling the center. And if he plays d5, I remove the defender. And that gives me an extra pawn. So this pawn is now defended only by the knight and is attacked by the bishop and the knight. So I can take and win a pawn. He can take, however, and this is an advanced tactic, but basically when I recapture, he's taking my rook. Actually, my bishop is taking it, so never mind. So as you can see, chess is difficult. I just missed that. My bishop was on my rook, and like, it's late at night. So anyway, so that would be losing a piece. But in this position, if he does do this, he can take, and now, he goes here, pinning my bishop to my king. But then I take, and now he wants to take a piece of equal value or greater. And when he does that, my bishop is no longer pinned, so I can just move it out of the way. So anyway, takes, takes, takes. And now his knight is pinned to his rook, and he actually resigned. That was that. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. If you like this type of content, subscribe or comment below. Or if you want to see different content, comment below. And thanks for watching.